Right, welcome to the channel. I've been doing little updates on Zack Snyder's Snyder Cut of Justice League. Very interesting to kind of see how this develops. We've heard multiple reports of how much money they're going to need to fix it up. And now we've got confirmed it's actually way more than was initially rumours and rumblings around. So this is interesting. There's also some other bits of news with respect to Jesse Eisenberg, also the Cyborg character, a whole kind of realm of snippets here and there. That's what we're going to cover today. Now, first and foremost, I just want to take this opportunity to say thank you all for tuning into the video. Obviously, if you enjoy it, please do give it a like, and please do share it. If you're new here, do hit subscribe and make sure you turn your bell notifications on to all. And that goes for subscribers as well. Just make sure you click that bell notification. Also, guys, I am making a film. If you want to check it out, it's linked down below in the description box. It is a horror fantasy film. There's a GoFundMe, and if you do $5 or more, you're entered in for a chance of winning a movie prop, a weapon. So there you go. There's my spiel out the way. Sorry. Let's go. Let's get into it. I mean, what is happening here, right? Now, a lot of people, look, a lot of people have been saying that the Snyder Cut definitely existed, and I don't want to get into that too much, but I have been called out for basically being a liar or someone that didn't know what I was talking about. Now, I've always maintained that, yes, there was a cut of a film. It was always an assembly cut. And this does confirm that. You know, if you have to get additional photography and if you have to spend more than $30 million to finish a movie, it was an assembly cut. And that's not to say that there was never a version of the film made, because there definitely was. There was an assembly cut of the Justice League film, which makes sense. You know, of course there would be. But yeah, they're going around and basically spending a lot more than 30 million. So much so that actually the Warner Media chairman, a very funny quote, has just come out and said, "I wish it was just 30 million." And you got to think about the wording that's used. I wish it was just 30 million. So it sounds like it's a significant amount of money. And again, yeah, fine, whatever. If you're going to spend it, cool. Make it really good. Give it the best possible chance of being a success. Otherwise, don't bother. You know, that's the thing. So the article here that I've got says, we recently got official confirmation that Warner Brothers was working on the Snyder Cut of Justice League, and director Zack Snyder's original version of the DC Comics team-up movie will be coming to HBO Max at some point next year. Initial reports indicated that the studio would have to spend around 20 to 30 million to complete the project, but it sounds like it's actually going to cost quite a bit more. Warner Media chairman Bob Greenblatt appeared on the latest episode of the Recode Media podcast, never heard of that, to talk about the upcoming launch of the streaming service. HBO Max is the only reason this is being made. It's with the fans as well, supply and demand. But it's interesting. I think they're going to be hovering the cost between multiple companies there. But basically, anyway, he goes on to say, Greenblatt confirmed that the Snyder Cut does not exist yet. So it's an assembly cut. So please, the people that called me out when this news dropped and was like, ha, you're a liar, there definitely was a Snyder Cut. Assembly cut, please. Let's think about the facts. And that this is going to be a radical rethinking of the movie we saw in theaters. We know that anyway, because of course, like, the more we've learned about this, it's a different movie. And this is why I think a lot of people need to calm down and hold your horses when you're hearing about all these other directors going, release the Ayer cut, or, do you know what I mean? All these other things, because, you know, it's kind of starting this like weird movement. This is a very unique situation. Like, this is a different film. It's not the same film. So this is one of the reasons why this is a good investment potentially for Warner Brothers. Whereas other films are not. Like, they're just director's cuts. It's not a different film, right? It's just a slightly different cut. This has a different story, and so this is a unique experience. But basically, anyway, he also said that a lot of very expensive work is still needed to be done. When host Peter Kafka said he'd heard it cost around 30 million, Greenblatt responded with, "I wish it was just 30 million. We had to go to the unions and get certain things cleared with them about what we were doing. Is the Snyder Cut a new movie, or is it a recut? There's lots of complexity that the fan community doesn't know about. So there you go. I mean, that is bloody interesting. Seriously. I mean, you're looking at like 50 to 60 odd million here, probably. I mean, again, it's that choice wording, isn't it? I wish it was just 30 million, like as if 30 million's nothing. So you're looking at probably double that, I would say. Again, it's a tentative kind of guess, but wording is everything. You know how people choose their wording and things like that. I wish it was just 30 million. There's a certain inflection and kind of context there. But what do you guys think about this? You know, do you think this is interesting? Do you think it's not? And obviously, what do you hope for this film? I guess, you know, I'm like, I don't care either way. I'm just stepping back from it and going, well, this will be interesting. I'll watch it. That's my kind of stance on it. So it will be intriguing. Again, from like a purely unbiased view, like I don't care about this particularly. I think it'll be good when it gets released. It'll be good for the fans and everyone that's amped and is emotionally invested. I'm happy for them. But they could make or not make this, and I wouldn't blink. So yeah, come back when it's released for a very unbiased point of view, I guess. Now, the second bit of news here, I guess, is story elements. So Ray Fisher is obviously Cyborg, right, in the DC universe. He was due to get his own movie. That kind of has fallen by the wayside. He was due a little bit more of a role in Justice League as well. And they've kind of done him the dirty, I guess. And he's also kind of been going on like a Twitter campaign to stay in the DC universe, especially when they hired a new actor for another version of Cyborg. All this stuff. It's very intriguing. So anyway, he came out. So in Joss Whedon's cut, Cyborg felt like an afterthought and was at the heart of the movie, Snyder once described. Talking to the Nice Cast, Ray Fisher, came out and said that in the version of the film we'll see next year, the cybernetically enhanced superhero actually has a very large role and a larger story arc, which makes sense. There's a lot of disjointed things in Joss Whedon's movie. So basically, he came out and said, Cyborg in Zack Snyder's Justice League, he's not a happy camper by any stretch, but I don't think anybody would be if you had just lost everything that you've known about yourself, which makes sense. Your body, you've lost your mother, you've lost your ability to play football, one of the defining things that you've established for yourself. You've lost a sense of yourself, and it's about finding that again, finding that humanity again. Makes sense. Like, again, there's definitely a certain element of disjointed nature with his depiction in Joss Whedon's cut. Now, he also says there's a tons of allegory with respect to that in being a black man and just the journey that black people have taken in this community, this country, sorry. Now, this is, Fisher would credit both Snyder and screenwriter Chris Terrio for giving Cyborg an arc. Yeah, basically just trying to say that there's... I don't really understand what he's saying there. Like, I'm just going to point blankly say it. Apparently there's a ton of allegory with respect to that in being a black man. Black people that watch my channel, do you feel like you need to find your humanity? I mean, maybe I'm missing something, but that sounds really odd. That sounds odd. Why would you need to find your humanity? You're a human. Doesn't matter whether you're black or white. Pink, orange, yellow, who cares? This part I don't understand. I'm not going to lie. I just think that's a very odd thing to say. It can go as deep as you will allow it to, and I thank my stars that I was in the capable hands of Chris and Zach to be like, listen, how far are we going to take this? This can hit some hearts, man. It can really hit some hearts. And then basically said, announcing the release of the film, maybe the turnaround for 2020. People need something to look forward to and hope for. Completely agree with that. I definitely think, I think people just want a bit of normality. I said in yesterday's video about Godzilla vs. Kong, and I was very positive about it, and, you know, the delays and all rumoured delays, which has now since kind of been debunked. I said in that video, I think people just want some normality. I don't think people really care that much anymore. The mass hysteria about all this current situation is, I mean, I know if I walk down the street, no one really cares anymore, and I'm very happy to see that, basically. So what do you think about Ray Fisher's comments? Again, I don't understand the allegory of him finding his humanity and that as an allegory for being black. I don't know how you would need to find your humanity if you're black. You have your humanity, don't you? Odd, but never mind. That's just personal thoughts. Jesse Eisenberg. I was going to say Eisenborg then. Eisenberg. the worst Lex Luthor, in my personal opinion. But he's also happy to be coming back. So he says, I spoke to Zack a couple of weeks ago and he told me about it. Yes, I'm excited because I'm friends with Zack. I'm so happy for him that he gets to release something he's proud of. I mean, I can't think of any precedent in history where there was something of this scope. Because it's not just about releasing the movie, but it required all of this, we call it post-production. So it's not just they're releasing scenes that are finished, they had to do a lot of post-production and it's a big process. And yeah, I'm so happy for him. He's a great guy with a very, very specific vision. So yes, I'm happy that he gets that and he seems really happy. So that's good. Good to see. Don't know whether he'll come back. Like, I don't know what role he's going to have in this, whether there's going to be any particular role that, you know, he's going to have for Justice League specifically. It'd be good if he does, though. Good if he comes back and does a little bit more than what he did before. But, you know, whatever. Hey, what do you guys think about this? Big update on Justice League. Good news, bad news, let me know. Thank you all so much for watching. I'm Mr. H. Take care.